Hi guys, welcome to this next session on a CRM database in Microsoft Access. Just a quick update from the last session, things that I've added. So you can see there I've added a button preview invoice, and if I just click on that, it's asking me for an invoice number. I'll just put 11 in there and then click OK. So that's the invoice that I've created, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Just close that. It's also got this little box which says what is the next, or tells me what the next invoice number is. So what I did there was I went back to the bookings table. If I just go into design on that, I just added a calculated field at the end there, which basically looks at the invoice number and then adds 1 to it. And then I just add that into the booking table on here. So that's always going to be telling me the next number. So the next number is 12. So when I get a booking, I can just add that in. The other thing I did is if I go into design on this form, I've changed what this form is looking at. Record source is now the bookings query. I'll just come out of that, as opposed to the table customers. And then what I've done is just created a separate form to input new customers, straightforward form into a table. So the bookings table and the bookings form are the main input mechanisms that I'm going to be using. So to create this invoice, what I've done is when I click that, I needed to type in the invoice number, and then it shows me the invoice. The next step after this will be to have a button that automatically emails it to the client. But to get that to work, I had to create a parameter query. So if I go into design on this query, what that meant was adding this parameter query like that, enter invoice number, which is what comes up. So that's what I have done. Now to create that invoice, let's just do that from scratch. So we are going to create report in report design. We need to go into design and activate the property sheet, select query customer booking, just get rid of the property sheet, and then activate the field list so you can see all the fields. So I need the company, but before I get the company I need to do some grouping. So let's click on this, group and sort, and then add a group, company. Now I do want a footer, a group footer, so without a footer section, so I'm just going to change that to with a footer section. So then I should have a company footer, because I'm going to do some calculations there later on. And I can just hide this out of the way, that's what I need. Now this one is not going to be as pretty as the one I've just showed you. I'm not going to spend ages and ages lining things up, but let's just go through it. Let's put that on there. The company is going into the company header. And then what I need, I don't need their address, I just need the booking details. So date of training can come into details, just move that up there into the top corner. Date of training, what was the course, just push that up and come left a bit. And student numbers, so student numbers, push that up. I'm just using my arrow key to push that up and come across. And if I come location onto the next line down, give myself a bit of space, just push it up so it's onto the grid. Location, don't need tutor. PO number, I'm going to put in the company header. If there is a PO number, it will appear there. And invoice number while I'm doing numbers, that goes up to the top as well. And then you can come across, you might want to bring these down actually. If I bring that down, use a large square block. Same with this, just make a bit more space. Same with the company, and then it may need to expand slightly. So you sit on the right side and just pull that over. PO number is not too big, invoice number is not too big. And you keep having a look at this It's asking me for an invoice number because it's based on the parameter. So it's a bit higgledy-piggledy at the moment, but I can fix this shortly. I'll need to put that on top as well. So back into design, and let's just put all these, sort all these out. Just put that underneath there, and course underneath course, location underneath location. Just bring that one down a bit, and then student numbers underneath student numbers, like so. Okay, and then I need in the amount, so let's put the amount there, put the amount on top as well, move that across, and then I don't need the VATable, I'll just leave that one off. I'll just put the VAT amount. If it's 0, it'll say 0. I did put that on the other one, but having thought about it, I don't really need that. And then the total is the last thing. Put the total up like that. And then move that across. So this is the fiddle bit, which takes a lot of time. And you keep looking to see what it looks like. You might want to take the parameter query off. So these boxes, I don't really want all these boxes on there. And I've got this gap as well, but that'll disappear in a minute. When I pull this sort of space up, that's what's causing that gap, all this. So let's just push that up there and then have a quick look again, and you can see it's now come up quite close. So I do need to do a bit of defining here. So let's have a look at date of training. Let's make that bold, of course, the title bold, and student numbers bold. Company also needs to be bold. Can highlight that row, make them all bold. Location needs to be bold, and these lot need to be bold as well. Now to work out the sums, the total, because there's 2 courses on invoice 11, 2 dates of training, I need to do some totals at the bottom here. So if I just pull this down a bit, this is where you're going to use the A, B button. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle, and the first one is going to be equals sum, open bracket, square bracket of the amount, close square bracket, close normal bracket, sum of amount, and then that's just going to be total amount, left a T there, and then another one, another A, B box to do total VAT, so equals sum, open bracket, square bracket, VAT, square bracket closed, normal bracket closed. So that's going to be total VAT, total VAT, and then the last one is going to be sum of total equals sum, open bracket, square bracket for the total field, close square bracket, close normal bracket, and this is amount owed. Amount owed. Let's have a look at that, see if I've done the formulas correctly. Yeah, they're correct, but they're not formatted, so I need to format those to pounds. So if I just highlight these 3, back to properties, format, and currency for those, and then they need to just be tidied up a little bit. So if I sit them all there, start there, in fact I can probably do a range and stacked, that makes it look a little bit better. Like so. Let's have a quick look. Design, view, invoice number required. Okay, that looks okay. There's not much of a gap there, so I need to widen that a little bit. Back into design, highlight them, Just knock them all down a bit. Now these boxes don't need to be this big, so I can bring them in too much. But I need to isolate these ones, do it one at a time, which is annoying. Okay, that worked. So then I drew a little grey rectangle for these to sit into, made it grey, format, paint pot grey, and then I moved these on top of that and they disappeared. So I need to arrange like so. So what I should have done is coloured those in before I did that. It doesn't matter for this. Now what I now need to do is work out the total student numbers. So another A, B. So this is just going to be equals sum square bracket student numbers with an S, close square bracket, close the sum bracket. So then that's going to be total students. Let's have a quick look. So we've got 12 students, that's correct, on this particular invoice. So that doesn't look great, so I'd have those coloured grey as well, but I'm not going to do that in this session. So now what I want to do is work out what the price is per student. So 12 divided into 1,000 is what I want to do. So another A, B box, and then this is going to be price per student. And now what I am going to do is call this something. So I've clicked onto this box and I'm just going to use students, if it'll let me use that, and this one needs to be total. Okay, now I should be able to use that. So this is going to be equals square bracket total, close square bracket, divide by students in square brackets, and then this needs to be formatted to wrong bracket, square bracket. This needs to be formatted to currency over here, currency. Let's have a look. Okay, it's coming currency, but that's not the right amount, so let's go back into design and have a quick look. Let's have a quick. Okay, that should be amount, not total, because total is that one, so it's doing that, so let's change that. In fact, I've called that amounts. I've changed that to amount, so let's just put this to amounts. Okay, let's have a look. Invoice number 11. Oops. 83 it should be, that's correct, so that's 83. So the formula is now working, so you can then make that look like this side with a rectangle if you want. Let's quickly do that. Draw a rectangle, colour it, format grey, and then send it to the back and then tidy these up. And then the last thing that I've done is I've inserted a logo which has already been done elsewhere. That's why it's sitting there, otherwise you'd have to browse for it. So I can just draw that in there like so, and then I drew an A-B box, which is a text box just to put my company name. It's Easy Software Training. And then I want to come down. If I press enter, that just finishes this, but I want to come down. If you do control and enter, it will come down a line. Metropolitan House, control and enter. Gateshead, control and enter. NE 163AS. That'll do. Just make that bold. Control B, making it bold. Now, obviously, I don't want all these boxes on there, so you can highlight these, and you've got border hairline. You can change that, or border style. You need to change that to transparent, and then we do that for these as well. So there's no boxes. Border style, transparent, and the same for these. Oops. Probably have to move. I'll just try it now. Border style, transparent for everything. That's it. Do everything at once. See what that looks like. Okay, so we've got rid of the boxes. Now it's looking a bit loose, so you probably maybe want to shade this in a bit. Now we're in layout view. Or we're not in layout view. We're in view. If you went into layout view, that would show you if there's any page linkage, which there is there. Look, so that box and that needs to come across. So I'll just go back into design, to move that across. Get rid of this. So the whole thing needs to come across a bit, and then that's made that go funny. So let's just undo that. See if I can move it as a block. Yeah, got it. And then bring this page in a bit. Have another look. View, invoice number, layout. So this is sitting out here. So I need to get that sorted out, because otherwise this is going to drop onto 2 pages. So back into design, back into pull this across. Oops. And see what that looks like. Let's go straight into layout view. Okay, that's sorted it out a bit. Now what does it look like as an invoice? So go design, view, print preview. Okay, it's not tidied up, but you get the ideas. So if I close print preview and close this report too, and I'll just call it, yes I do, I'll just call it test for now. And then what you do is you create a button to open up that report. So on this form, if I go into design on this form and design again, command button, so I draw a button, doesn't matter how big it is, report operations, preview, next, select the report, test, and preview report or preview test, you just type that in there, and next, and then finish. And then highlight those, go to arrange, stacked, nice and neat, and then back to design, view, test it, click into invoice number 11. Yep, there she blows. Close it, test it again, invoice number 3, don't know what that is. There isn't an invoice number 3. Okay, so now we need to test it, because invoice 1, invoice 1, yeah, there is. There's the detail. So now you're looking at why there's not an invoice number 3, but it doesn't matter for this. You've tested it and it works okay. So that's the end of this little bit. So then I'm just going to get rid of that. The next session, we'll start looking at sending this. When you click this button, instead of previewing the invoice, I'll still leave that one there, but this button maybe will be send email to client directly, and we'll start looking at a macro and how you can attach that macro to a command button. But that's the end of this session. So hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for your time.